Y'all, I want to talk about cancel culture. Today is January 9th. It is about 4 p.m. Cancel culture. Cancel culture is a thing, and it's been taking off lately. I'm going down here to feed the chickens, but I'd like to talk about cancel culture a little bit. I had some interaction with some friends on the face boom, which I've been promising to swear off. I just haven't yet. So, reading from my social media. Cancel culture works both ways. Goodbye Mozilla products. I don't care what you believe. But if your ideas are rooted in censorship, I will censor you from my life. Let everyone believe how they believe and speak what they want to speak. This is insane and needs to stop. Screw your feelings. Get thicker skin. So that's what I posted. Now, there's a lot of people that would disagree with that because, well, orange man bad, you know? But getting thicker skin is kind of part of life. You know, if you walk around and you're offended by absolutely everything, then you're an ant. You know, there's far bigger things in this world to be worried about other than your feel-bads. Cancel culture does work both ways, and you know, the right to free speech is inalienable. And of course, these are private companies, as is pointed out in a couple of comments, but my retort to those comments makes sense. You can't just go around canceling things that offend your sensibilities. So, I want to read this portion of thread. I'm going to omit names because the names aren't important. And these are people that I know and care about, that I love. And I respect their opinion. I really do. So, first comment, and I'm just going to read them in line. If you put out lies, some people will believe it. Look at the Q cult. So, I said, and everything in here is reasonable. You know, nobody got mad, nobody got offended, nobody got butthurt. I said, yes, but as long as it is not affecting or affecting my rights or your rights, it doesn't matter. If someone chooses to subscribe to something and it is not harming anyone else's rights, just their sensibilities, well, I meant to say your sensibilities, we have zero right to cancel them out. In my opinion, it is that simple. My buddy says, I agree no one should censor as long as it's not a hate speech. We have had National Enquirer, the newsstands, for many, many years. It's not like that was full of facts, LOL. It's true. And look how many people believe that the election was a fraud. No matter how many times they counted votes, look how they're trying to make us believe that it was Antifa that broke into the Capitol. So I don't really believe that Antifa broke into the Capitol. From the way that I understand it from people on the ground that were there, not breaking into the Capitol, but at the rally, Antifa was dragged off of the Capitol grounds by a lot of the militia guys and all of the SF-looking mofos. So they weren't even there. So I'm pretty sure that. But to go further, 1 in 4 polled, 1 in 4 Americans believe that there was indeed fraud to various levels in this election. So that's 1 in 4 of your fellow Americans that believe there was in fact fraud. So look how many people believe that the election was a fraud, no matter how many times they counted votes. Look how they're trying to make us believe that it was Antifa that broke into the Capitol. My response, look at it. Don't cancel it. And to my other friend, as much as I despise that kind of speech, don't cancel it either. It is their right to say what they want, not mine to stifle them. As well, it is better to let people speak their mind, as then you know whom you are dealing with and can choose to relate or not. Acts of violence or calling for acts of violence is where I would draw the line. And if it were not for free speech, how would the appropriate authorities know an imminent and plausible threat were there? All very good questions. I go on to say people have the right to say what they want, not that there won't be repercussions, and should be able to do so even if it hurts your feelbats. And this individual says, well, Twitter, Facebook, Google are private companies as they control what we say on their social media. They are, in fact, private companies. And I said, I understand, and I do not agree. If they are going to enable a platform for one group, it should be for all groups. I would be as outraged if they adopted out or opted out for any group. It's childish, and it's censorship, and it is, in fact, un-American. And it is, in my opinion, un-American. It is definitely childish, and it is definitely the definition of censorship. I mean, if you think about it just for a second, I mean, I've got friends from all walks of life that you know, let me give you an example. So if all of a sudden social media started taking down people's accounts that were openly gay, I would be outraged. I'm outraged that they shut down the president of the United States, whoever the hell it is, shut down his Twitter account. I mean, that's some bullshit. So this person goes on to say, I'm sure there's more lines than you are thinking at the moment. Example, child pornography, slander, copyrighted materials, trade secrets, and more. There's always an asterisk to any amendment. Not to mine. When it comes to free speech, it is free speech. I mean, you can say whatever the hell you want. Now, there may be repercussions. If I'd have said something ugly on this thread, and it's funny because I got a phone call while this thread was going on from one of the persons that are commenting, reminded me that I need to get by and see her for a contract job. That's a whole other story altogether, you know. I mean, you be reasonable with people, and people are usually reasonable back. It's the ones that are not reasonable that you really just need to avoid. And as far as free speech goes, had I said something ugly on there, then I may not have gotten the phone call. Hey, how you doing? You need to come see us. You know what I mean? So there is repercussions for what you say, but you can say any damn thing you want, or should be able to, without fear of reprisal. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? The response to that was, of course, and those are legal issues. Free speech is protected and sufferable. Things like child porn goes without saying. I think we can all pretty much agree on that. And then Rabbi says, childish and un-American, and I would add a poor decision, but it isn't censorship. I found this article helpful. So I said, Rabbi, I never said it is illegal for them to do so, and anything that is removed because it does not fit a narrative or could possibly offend someone's sensibilities is the very definition of censorship, whether big tech, big news, or a person's personal social media page. I'd just like to tell everybody that you really need to be careful with what you decide you think should be canceled or is unpalatable for the masses, okay? So, because once you do it to one group of people, and this is the moral of the story, once it's done, by agreement or otherwise, because I don't know that there was a petition or otherwise, but once it's done to one group of people, it's really stinking easy to do it to another. Erosion starts by the first wave. Last thing before I let you go. Reminds me of my favorite part of Fahrenheit 451, wherein Guy Montag had been run out of the city, and he used the railroad tracks, and miles out of the city he comes across some old men. Those old men, he's bitching and whining and everything, saying, you know, it's not fair, the government. The old codgers were professors, and the old codgers, whose lives were in danger as well, they were wanted men, said to him, son, shut up and sit down. It didn't start with the government. It started with the people. One group said, well, this offends me, so they changed it. Another group says, this offends me, so they changed it. Another group says, this offends me, so they changed it until the books didn't even matter anymore. Cheers, guys. Stay safe, stay sane, keep your wits. Can we do some outro music? Oh, hell no.